Arttemis Prime, founder of the Freedom Team International and master trainer to agents worldwide. If you feel like you've been on a rebounder, just bouncing up and down, but not getting to where you truly want to be in your goals for your real estate business, you feel like you're just chasing all the time, but you haven't been in a forward focus, creating the life and business you truly love, this training is just for you. Welcome to Lenses with the Freedom Team. Stay tuned. Look below this video for a special handout on your lenses. I want you to print this out and I want you to take this step by step by step. This is going to be one of the most powerful things you do all year, and in this module on the clear mind, this is going to be one of the most powerful exercises you do all year to get you from stuck to clear, to get you out of oscillating in the hamster wheel into a creative structure where you're building the branding, the marketing, and the automation, the systems, and the business and life of your dreams. This is how you do it. You do it through visioning and lenses. Now, it's better to be pulled by your vision than pushed by your problems. And we want you to get into a forward focus, because if you learn how to nail your day, you'll nail your week. If you nail every day and week, you'll nail your month. If you nail your month, you'll nail your quarter. If you nail your quarter in the creative structure, you'll nail your year. And you need a one-year business plan broken down like a lens. So we want to take the one-year lens, wide vision. We want to narrow it down to 90 days. From 90 days, we want to narrow it down to a week. From a week, we want to narrow it down to daily commitments, which is your Freedom 5 rhythms. And remember, before you dive into lenses and you start filling out your one-year business plan, I want you to go back into the clear mind and all the 5 keys I teach you in the clear mind. You need to know your values. You need to be able to translate those values into your lenses. You need to have a positive self-image. Listen to the transformational mindset trainings and the audios every day to build that inner vision in the theater of your mind of a successful agent, a top agent, a freedom agent. And you also need to be taking one free day a week. You need to take a full day off, unplug, a super happy fun day for you and your business. You need to have these keys in place as you're coming into the lenses process and doing your lenses. Because if you've been on a rebounder, if you feel like you've just been bouncing up and down, it's time to build a ladder of success up the lighthouse. And wherever you are, red, orange, or yellow, make sure you know where you are before you fill out your lenses. So look below this video for the Wealth Lighthouse quiz. That's right, take the Wealth Lighthouse quiz. If you're at infrared or red, you're going to be doing different activities in the creative process to get you to orange. If you're at orange, I'm going to be teaching you different, more powerful activities that require extra cash flow to get to yellow. If you're yellow, we'll be teaching you how to become a celebrity and an influencer to get to green. So each of these levels has a certain activity that you need to know where you are. So make sure you take the Wealth Lighthouse quiz. Now let's talk about the 3 structures of creation. Before we get into lenses, I want to break down just what are the 3 structures? What do they mean? Where are you in these structures? And then how are we going to get into a creative structure? This is super powerful to understand. So there are 3 types of structures in the creative process. There's a stuck structure, there's an oscillating structure, and there's a creative structure. So a structure is just 2 parts moving together, kind of like, I'm holding this glass of coconut water and bee pollen. The structure between me and the glass is holding this glass. Another example of a structure is a building with a foundation, a frame, and different walls around it. That's a structure. Between the frame and the walls is tension. And so when you get out of a stuck and oscillating structure into a creative structure, you create a different type of tension with a forward focus. Do you get what I'm saying? You need to have a forward focus, and you need to understand, am I stuck? Am I oscillating? And how do I create a different tension in my business model where I can be forward focused and I can be pulled towards that creative process, that creative possibility through positive constructive tension. The tension in these structures is not functional. The tension in this structure is highly functional, performing, and creative. So what is a stuck structure? A stuck structure is where you're just in apathy, you're drifting, you don't care anymore. You're just going through the motions, or maybe you're in red or infrared and you just feel stuck and you can't seem to get consistent cash flow. And so a lot of us get trapped in this structure because we don't know our values, we don't know our passions, we haven't pinpointed our values and passions, we haven't learned how to follow the flow and get inside our zone of genius and follow that flow, because flow comes before resources. Now, another type of stuckness is where you're just chasing shiny objects and you're so in digital overwhelm. Remember my pristine digital hygiene training I gave you earlier in this module? You've got to get out of overwhelm and get focused. And so if you're chasing shiny objects, if you're doing all these activities, but you're not in accomplishment, then that is also stuck, but that's unconsciously stuck. So a lot of us start out this training just unconsciously stuck because we're just chasing, and we have no fundamental way of understanding what to put our focus on to grow a ladder up the lighthouse. So that's the two types of stuck structure. Now let's talk about an oscillating structure. Wherever you are in your business, you're most likely in stuck or oscillating because you haven't started creating what you need to create to succeed. An oscillating structure is where you find yourself moving 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, 4 steps forward, 3 steps back. It's like that process of oscillation where you get a couple deals, you launch a Facebook ad, and then suddenly you run out of money, or suddenly you have to chase more clients, you have to chase more deals, because you're stuck in what we call a problem-solution polarity. If you're always out there trying to solve problems in your business and you're not creating the structure that's going to help you build a ladder, if you're just out there solving problems like on a rebounder, the identity that created the problem will just create another problem. Think about that. Problem and solution exist in the same polarity. You have to transcend the duality of that problem-solution pattern and get into a new identity and a new creative structure to grow up the wealth lighthouse. And so a lot of agents and business owners, they oscillate, but they don't know why they're oscillating and they can't see that they're oscillating. And so it's such a huge epiphany for you to understand that these two patterns are creative, consciously or unconsciously. You might be creating a stuck pattern, you might be creating an oscillating structure, but when you break the oscillation is when you start to build your powerful brand identity, when you start to build marketing, branding, and automation, when you start to build the structures that build a ladder up the lighthouse. When you get into the creative structure through this lenses process I'm about to show you, it is so powerful for you to quantum leap into a whole new level of business development. And so now that you understand the 3 structures and you understand the importance of knowing your values, knowing your vision, having a positive self-image, and understanding your zone of genius, like everything I teach you in the Freedom Agent formula, you got to know those things while you do your lenses. So if you have not watched those videos, go back and do that work with your values exercise, with your zone of genius, with the Wealth Lighthouse, and understanding how to build that positive self-image in your personal brand. And let's dive in to the lenses process and show you how to fill out your 1-year vision in 90-day, 7-day, and daily commitments. Stay tuned. All right, welcome to Lenses, transforming your vision into results. This is one of the most powerful things you're going to do this year, and I want you to take it step by step. Don't think that you have to finish this entire process in one day. If all you want to do is page 2 or page 2 and 3, and then release it, let it go, give it to your subconscious, and then come back to the process on the 2nd or 3rd day. Maybe you need to take a walk, maybe you need to take a shower, maybe you need to get into that release phase and come back to it. That's fine. Give yourself a couple days to do this entire process. And also, every Freedom Agent gets support in their lenses every week. So we meet on a weekly basis. So look below this video for the calendar of our weekly meetings so you can stay in your lenses and stay forward focused and get the support you need to clear the blocks in your subconscious mind through connecting to your superconscious and our team. And so join the weekly meetings so you can stay accountable, getting into that forward focus and achieving more. Now, make sure you've also taken the Wealth Lighthouse quiz, because if you're infrared or red, the movement in your 90-day and weekly targets and commitments is going to be different than if you're orange or yellow. And so remember, knowing where you are in your business provides a compass, and that compass then directs you in your lenses in a way that builds the most powerful foundation. One of the things that a lot of agents do is they skip steps, and they don't understand how important these foundations are that we build first. And so if you need to build that red level foundation, take the Wealth Lighthouse quiz, watch my training on the Wealth Lighthouse in the Freedom Agent Mastermind training system, and get that dialed in as you fill out the lenses. Now, why do we call them lenses? Is because you have a 1-year long-term directional goal for your business that's then broken down into 90-day targets. We also call these promotion plans if you're starting to do ads and marketing and automation. A 90-day, we're going to skip 30-day and go to 7-day because it's just simpler this way. And you have 7-day commitments. And these 7-day commitments, you're going to be checking in on Monday and Friday. And you're going to be seeing what worked, where did you win. You're going to celebrate your wins, and you're going to see where do you need support. And you're going to reach to me or Nolly or one of our mentors to get the support you need. And so this is the power of the weekly review and attending our meetings. Make sure you show up to our weekly meetings. You got to participate and play and jump in, play 125%. And then finally, we have the daily intentions. Now, when you're figuring out your daily intentions, all you need to do is focus on the Freedom 5. I have a more detailed structure for you on the daily commitments, as I'll show you in a bit. But remember, these 5 rhythms every day is what you're focusing on. Hydration, movement, and breath work. Get into your meditation. Start with the transformational mindset audios given to you in the Freedom Agent Formula. Use these meditations to see it and be it. And then jump into some reading and journaling, and then do the 2. Now, for those of you who don't have the discipline of lead generation, make sure you also check out my 3 secret keys to effective lead generation and get into that discipline. Every day in your lenses process, you're committing to the 5 rhythms. The 5 rhythms build up to a weekly commitment. The weekly commitment builds up to 90-day promotions. 90-day quarters build up to a 1-year achievement and successful ladder up the lighthouse. So let's dive into the first exercise. Go ahead and take a couple deep breaths in here. Exhale. Take another deep breath in. And exhale. This is the beginning of creating the life and business you love, for no other reason than you love it. Remember, a true choice brings your vision, your values, your self-image all into love. Do what you love. Now, this big vision, this inspirational goal is your big 10-year vision in 4 pillars. So this is your big ideal scene. What is your financial freedom number? Is it $20,000 a month? Is it 50, 100, a million? Whatever that number is, write it down. What do you want to make every month in your business that's going to create a sense of freedom? Write that number down here. And I want you to print this out and write your answers down, because writing is a psychoneuromotor activity, and writing is very, very much more powerful than typing. Now, after you write these exercises, if you want to print out and type out a 90-day and 7-day checklist, and you want to print that out and check it off, that's fine, but I want you to write it first. Now, the next thing I want you to write down is your family. How do you want to interact with your family, and what do you want to give your friends and family in your ideal scene? What are you giving them? Are you giving them a sense of abundance, generosity, care, play, freedom, travel? What are you going to be giving your family each week as you achieve this big 10-year vision? Doesn't that make you feel awesome? I love this part of the exercise in lenses, because we want to get into the really, really big picture, your opulent choice for your finances, your family. And now, write down your fitness goals. How are you keeping fit through nutrition, hydration, movement, breath, meditation? How are you keeping fit? This is an equally important part of your business. Is the strength in your body equals strength in your mind. Power in the body translates to power in the mind. Power in the mind and body translate to power in your creative structures. So how are you keeping fit? Write it down here. Now, the next thing I want you to write down is your perfect average week. So each week, as you're doing your real estate business, or any of the businesses you're creating, how are you fulfilled? What is your perfect week involve? Are you taking time off? Are you taking naps? Are you doing trainings, videos? Are you working deals? Are you recruiting and building teams and agents and helping them win? Like, what does your perfect average week look like? Now, when you define your perfect average week, as you step into a creative structure, nothing that you gain or lose changes your perfect week. You should be living your perfect average week every week, no matter how much money's in your bank account. This is the state of creative potential. This is staying in the creative structure where you're living your perfect week and you just love what you're doing. And so if you want to go ahead and fill out this page now, go ahead and pause the video right now, fill out these 4 blocks, and then let's move on. All right, Now we want to create some 1-year objectives for your business. Now, these are your long-term goals, and the first goal I want you to create is your financial goal for your business. So make sure that this financial goal for your real estate business is in your sweet spot. It's big enough to get you excited, it's small enough that you believe you can attain it. That's what your sweet spot is. So if all you've done is $100,000 or $150,000 in revenue, don't go to $400,000 or $500,000 because that's too big of a leap. You don't have the marketing, the branding, the influence, the systems to go from $150,000 to $400,000. So maybe set the goal from 100 to 150 or 150 to 200. Keep your financial goal in your sweet spot and make sure that that financial number is going to prove to you that you had a great year. Now, write out in the second block right here, 1 year from now, what would prove to you that you moved towards your vision? So did you take a family vacation? Did you get 10 extra deals in your pipeline? Did you have more time to rest and do self-care? Like, what is going to get you into that vision 1 year from now that proved to you that you moved towards your goal? Did you launch your personal brand and create influence? Did you film, 20 videos this year? Did you double the size of your database because you launched an amazing Facebook marketing campaign? 1 year from now, what would prove to you that you had moved towards your vision? And so this is the 1-year objective, your financial, and what would prove to you that you moved toward this vision. Go ahead and pause the video right now if you want to, and write down these goals in these 2 boxes, and let's move on to your 90-day targets. All right, now remember, if you need to take a break from this, you need to go into the release phase on the 4 stages of flow. Just release this, let it go, and come back to this exercise, because this exercise does require a lot of your presence and your connection to your superconscious. We're going to be accessing your superconscious mind in this exercise with intuition and insight. Insight is inner sight. All right, so you have your near-term directionals. These are your 90-day targets. This is where we get even more focused. So objective number 1 is going to be your financial goal in the next 90 days. How much money or production or influence do you want to achieve here in objective number 1? And make sure objective number 2 is an influence goal. Make sure it's like, I'm going to launch my personal brand, for example, or I'm going to create 10 videos teaching my market pains and gains, or I'm going to follow Uncle Nolly's pre-listing packet and seller's guides and how to get more listings, and I'm going to create more listings through our pre-listing packet and seller's guides and marketing technologies. So objective number 2, I really want you to be an influencer goal. I really want you to create a goal here in the next 90 days that's going to build your influence, such as through videos, branding, and marketing technologies. So as you get clear on the financial goal over the next 90 days, that's going to move you towards your 1-year goal. And as you get clear on your marketing and influence goals, after you write these down, go ahead and take a couple deep breaths. Breathe deeply in, touch the center of your chest, touch your heart, drop down into the center of your heart. Do about 3 to 5 minutes of heart math. And then ask yourself this question for this financial goal. What could I do in the next 90 days to move towards my 1-year objective? Now, this is super powerful. I'm getting chills all over my body because this is when you get to access your own intuition and you get to draw in an answer. Maybe it's connect with somebody, call somebody, create something. Use your intuition in these 2 objectives and access that intuitive self, that inner sight, insight. And then also write down just 2 or 3 things right here. Don't be an overachiever. Don't over, commit to your activities. Write down, what will I do in the next 90 days to move towards my 1-year objective? Such as launch my brand, create 3 to 5 videos, get 3 listings, do live events, create more content, raise my standards and connect to different types of networks to bring in higher quality deals into my life. Like, what will you do in the next 90 days to increase the accountability in achieving objective 1 and objective 2? So go ahead and pause the video right now if you need to. Fill out these 90-day targets. Make it super simple at first. Don't overcomplicate it. Write down first words, whatever comes to you, and I'll see you in the next part of your lenses. All right, now we're in weekly commitments. Now, this is where we get even more granular. So here's where you get to be even more specific. And I recommend going ahead and doing some breath work again, getting really, really centered in your heart. And when you look at your weekly commitments, like what are you going to do this week that's going to move you towards your quarterly goals? So in this week right now, you know you have specific activities to do. Maybe like connect with the Fiverr artist, make 50 calls this week, go out and film 1 or 2 videos, like whatever you're going to do this week, connect to that over here on the right side. What will you do? And then come back to your heart, come back to your intuition, take a couple deep breaths, get really still, and ask yourself, what could I do this week to move towards my goals? Now, as you're mastering the Freedom 5 rhythms, and when you get into meditation and then journaling, you may want to revisit this weekly commitment and write down new insights, new intuition, new ideas. Who do I call? What do I create? You may want to engage these questions and then write them down on a daily basis, because this is where we get to use our intuition and connect our intuition to the creative process, and we're going to create so much more effectively and with so much more leverage when we ask this question: what could I do this week to move towards my 90-day goals? So go ahead and pause the video, do this exercise right now, enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next and final section of our lenses. All right, so this is your daily planning. Now remember, the daily planning is built on the Freedom 5 rhythms. Make sure you master these 5 rhythms before you get any more granular. But for those of you who are watching this that are tempo and steel, and you like checklists and you like more structure and more, if you're a steel genius or a tempo genius, doing this daily planning could be really helpful for you. But if you're dynamo or blaze genius, all you really need to do is get into flow, master 2 to 3 hours of lead generation 5 days a week. Get out there, network, build your database, build your content, build your influence. But for some of you, you may need a little bit more, granular, structured, written down exercise. So this is for you, tempos and steels. Go ahead and write down what's your intention for today. What are your top 3 things that you're gonna focus on? Where was I uncomfortable yesterday? So this is where you need to ask for support. If you find yourself having problems with cash or money or energy or low energy, or you have problems with staying focused and you're getting distracted, go ahead and write that down and bring that to our weekly meetings. And then finally, here's a to-do list. These are things you're going to accomplish today. Now, the mistakes I've made with this type of planning is I've added too much to my list, either on the daily planning or the weekly planning. So if you find yourself doing that, don't worry. Just decrease the amount of activities and get your mentor to put you back on track. Because sometimes if we're dynamo or blaze, we have high expectations in our business. We think we can achieve more than we really can. Although if we're tempo and steel, sometimes we don't have those quarterly targets and yearly targets keeping us out of that rut that sometimes we find ourselves falling into. And so this lenses process is for all 4 zones of genius for different reasons. And so go ahead and complete this process. I'm going to give you one final instruction to help you get the most out of your lenses, to stay forward focused, and to most importantly, build that ladder of success up the lighthouse. Stay tuned.